Next is the category Media, awarded to an individual, male or female, who has achieved prominence in the creation and distribution of surfing content in print, digital, film, TV, or live event, as a publisher, editor, photographer, writer, or another position of prominence in the surfing community regionally, nationally, or internationally. The East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame is proud to induct North Carolina's Matt Walker. And just, a title that you could put on there, Space Cadet, the son of a space shuttle astronaut. Matt Walker rode his first wave at the age of 8 in Virginia Beach. Matt was one of an important crew of admitted misfits who managed to pound out hundreds of issues of the All East Coast, all the time, Eastern Surf magazine. He was an integral part of the purposeful phenomenon which changed the face of print media for East Coast surfers. In fact, Matt was using his influence to get his father to take a cover of Eastern Surf magazine up on the space shuttle, much to the chagrin of Mr. Dugan, who thought it should be an ESM girl. Serving as an ESM editor-in-chief for 5 years, Matt's acerbic wit and superb writing talent eventually caught the attention of Evan Slater at Surfing Magazine. Matt moved to San Clemente during the dot-com frenzy at the turn of the century, lured by a significant pay raise and dreams of surfing trestles every day. Enjoying a career as senior editor, then he transitioned into the senior editor for Surfing Magazine. Along with his editorship at Eastern Surf Magazine, Matt has spent the bulk of his 3-decade-plus writing and editorial career penning and compiling surf words. He currently lives on Walker Street in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, where he and his wife Lauren produce a very successful quarterly print magazine titled Outer Banks Milepost. He continues as a freelance writer for numerous surf mags and websites while he continues to catch some of the best waves on the East Coast. And yet, after all that, he still considers himself to be a complete and total kook. But I would like to say that I firmly believe if Matt had hair, he'd be a white Rastafarian with dreadlocks down to his waist. Matty boy, come on down.
Yeah, getting in there?
No, it's all yours.
3 decades, really? 50. This is like really tough for me, guys, because I hate, I'm bad with compliments, and this is a huge, huge, huge compliment. So thanks, everyone, for this one. I also want to first congratulate all the other inductees, because so worthy, even you. And every other inductee that's come up here. And I also want to, before I do anything else, thank my family, my mom, for having the foresight to make sure we grew up near the beach at a time when a single mom could still live near the beach. My dad for buying me a surfboard. My wife and son, especially, for putting up with that has traveled into. I grew up having 2 subscriptions. I had, when I was a kid, I had National Lampoon and I had Surfing Magazine. National Lampoon came later when I went to work for ESM, but before that, the Surfing Magazine was the one I worshipped. I covered my walls with it. I read every note. I read all the names. I read all the bylines. So if you told me when I was 13 that I'd go on to work with people like Dick Meserol or Tom Dugan or Bob Mignona or PT, although you weren't in the magazine, you were still getting shots then. That was before they stuck you in the back. I wouldn't have believed it. I'd be flabbergasted. And trust me, if you had been in Virginia Beach and seen 13-year-old kids running around doing all their stupid Grom stuff or surfing, you would not have picked me to be the one on the stage right now, because seriously, that's not where I belong in terms of how surfing goes. And even more importantly, I think if you told me when I grew up to be right now that I'd count some of these people as my friends, or that I'd see some of my friends become heroes. I couldn't ask for anything more. So really when I look back, when it comes to it, I just feel really lucky. I feel lucky that I was raised in a position to have those opportunities. I felt lucky that that the timing was so right that when I graduated, there was a magazine coming up like ESM that would have room for a person like me, that there was a talent boom that we had never seen that would carry that along. Kelly, CJ, Lisa, the list goes on. I just feel really fortunate that I had the opportunity to cover that, and that it would take me to the West Coast, where I would have the opportunity also, and sorry, I'm really bad at this, to work with people who are so talented in the writing, photography, design, creativity department that never gave up and never put in a shitty day of work, and I mean that. Like, flame, people who really cared. You taught me how to make magazines, and I really, I can't say how much that means to me. And if I'd been born 2 years later, that never would have happened, because Pruitt would have gotten my job. It's true. Or if I'd been born now, there wouldn't be magazines. So thank you. I just feel very fortunate to be in this thing. So really, to me, this award's for like every person I ever shared the lineup with, or got to surf with, or got to learn from. I just was lucky enough to write about it. And that's really all I have to say, except for I thank you, sweetie, I love you.